Hey there. In today's video, we'll be talking about CDC, or Change Data Capture. With River, you have the ability to run CDC for a variety of both relational and non-relational databases. The first thing that we'll have to do is choose Create River and source a target river. From there, we just need to determine our source. River offers CDC from MySQL, SQL Server, Postgres, as well as Mongo. For this demo, we'll choose MySQL. And the first thing that we need to do is establish our source connection. Once that is connected, choose your river mode, most common method being the multi-table selection, which reads from a number of tables across a variety of schemas. From there, we need to choose our extraction mode. By default, you are set to a standard extraction. Now, this will read directly against a table or a view. We do offer the ability to choose incremental columns, such as the last modified date, so you're only reading incremental columns or incremental data. But for this demo, we'll choose log-based CDC. So what this does is instead of reading from the table itself, it will read from a binary log. Once I choose that, you are prompted to enable this on your source system. There are commands that you do need to run on the source database to have this enabled. Once it's all set, we're ready to move over to our target. For our target, I'll choose Snowflake as our data warehouse. And again, the first thing that we need to do is establish our connection. Now, one thing to note is that in our connection, you do have this ability to choose your custom file zone, such as an S3 bucket or Azure Blob Storage. Now, what this means is it's going to temporarily store that data there prior to loading into Snowflake. So behind the scenes, what happens is that River will stream those changes, stream that data from MySQL in through Kafka, land that data into an S3 bucket, and then in microbatch fashion, load that data from your S3 bucket into Snowflake. On this screen, all we need to do is choose our database and our schema name to choose where that data is going to load into. From there, I'll move over to my schema tab. As I mentioned, you have the ability to load from multiple schemas. In this example, I'll choose a single schema, my River example. And if there were multiple tables here, you can select all of them. In this case, we just have a single table. Now you'll see our status here is currently waiting for migration. What that means is it will be a one-time historical migration before we start reading from the logs themselves. At any point, you can choose these three dots to either reinitiate all your tables or turn that migration off. Now at this point, I'm ready to hit run. I can also click on my settings to set any notifications for failures, warnings, or thresholds.